The Unbeknown podcast is streamed live to a twitch.tv audience and is recorded and uploaded as a video on demand via youtube.com. The show is also produced as a podcast available on your favorite podcast platform. The following program is intended for mature audiences and is for entertainment purposes only. Each host is responsible for their own content and comments. However, context is important. They are attempting to be entertaining. Please assume that any statements made are in brevity and if no offense was ever intended. Please enjoy the show. I know that I know nothing. Perception. Reality. Mysteries of the universe. Universes. Perhaps multiverses. Glimpses of the past. Visions of the future. Secret, sacred, second lives. Untold stories, unseen worlds, cover-ups of government conspiracies. Unbeknown. The show that discusses these things and more. Gives you the chance to take part in the discussion by chatting online or joining in our Skype line. Share your story or stories as a part of the show, or email them in to be told as only we can. As Jim Jam and others before him want to say, I want to believe.
Hey! Alright, here we are. Episode number 1, guys. We did it.
Hell yeah.
We did it, guys.
Yeah, hey, I'm here. My bad. Sorry.
We knew there would be some learning curves going on. Episode 1 going live. Twitch.tv/the_unbeknown. Here we are. Live streaming.
Yes. And looking mighty fat, by the way.
Oh no, I think we look pretty fine, alright? Yeah. Do it alright. Good, good.
Yeah. This is the Unbeknown, as you already know.
Yeah. Welcome to the Unbeknown podcast. That's Jimmy there.
Jimmy's lost for words over there. Come on now, where you at, man? You gotta.
The aliens have stolen my words.
They stole it up. All right, so here we go, guys. My name's Aaron. We got Jimmy, Jim Jam over there.
Yep.
We got Yeti.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so what do we do? What is this show? What do we got going on?
Well, today we're gonna share some of our personal experiences with the unknown, the unbeknown. You know, just kind of let you know where we stand on things, and share a little bit. We ask everybody else to send in stories and whatnot, so we figured it'd only be fair to share some of our own.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I guess to start it all off, well, I guess we'll go with Jimmy. We're ready for your story. You ready to hear this?
Oh yeah, let's get it. Let's go.
So this is my story.
Enjoy.
Of an unexplained event that happened to me. I guess about 7-8 years ago, or somewhere around there, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, which is, I want to say disorder. If go untreated, can lead to death. There's been, from what I understand, quite a few people that have died from this, and that died in their sleep because you stop breathing in your sleep. This is very serious, obviously, leading to death. So if you believe you have sleep apnea, definitely need to go see a doctor about it, because you'll be amazed how better you feel when getting help and having a CPAP machine and all that. If I don't sleep without my mask, I will be asleep, but I will start dreaming like I'm suffocating. I guess it's called sleep paralysis or whatever. But one night, I guess I fell asleep without my mask on, and I was in a bed in a house I'm not familiar with, and I guess I was sleeping normal, and then this house I was at looked like they added a room onto it, and there was a window, like a regular window in the house, and I was laying there, and I watched the window slide up, and I watched this black mass or figure crawl out the window, and I guess this is the point where I started gasping for air and I couldn't wake up, but the figure was coming at me, and as it was coming at me, it almost got to the side of the bed, and I woke up. I don't know, I've always heard things about, the Shadow Man and all that, but I don't know if the Shadow Man would have got to me, that would have been my death, or what it was. I'm not sure what the meaning of that was. That's really the only story I have that I've experienced that I can recall of paranormal, the unexplained, the unbeknown.
All right, man, Jimmy. Wow, what a powerful story, man.
Yeah, yeah. Turn this down. The Shadow Man was trying to get me, man. But I woke up and he didn't get me because I'm talking to you now, obviously.
I've had shadow people try to get me a time or two.
In your dreams or in reality?
No, I was super awake.
Right. Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty freaky though.
That sounds fucking scary, man. That everything is terrifying in that little land between wake and sleep. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, and then you add that to it, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's like those moments where you're right about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden you feel that fall, like you're
Oh
dropping.
God, yeah.
Oh man, that always just still gets to me today. I know it's happening. I even can feel it coming, but man, it gets me, and I'm like, you got me.
Yeah, it's like dealing with kids at that little twilight period. Man, I've got an 8-year-old, and sometimes I'll wake up and I'll just be really groggy at that moment of when you first open your eyes. He'll be standing there at my bed, and in that moment I'm like, yep, this is how I die.
Yeah, right. That reminds me, I did that with my folks one time. Woke them up, and my dad lunged at me. He's like, "Oh, about gotcha." I was like, "No, you didn't. You were a lot slower than you think you were." So, but yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, Jimmy, that sleep apnea. I have another friend that he battles with it too. Uses his CPAP, and he's been leery. I know that who is it? White, Reggie White, I believe it was the football player that passed away in his sleep because of it. So it's not something you want to mess around with. He wasn't wearing his CPAP, so you got to make sure that you're wearing that for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure,
It'll
definitely.
give you a stroke. Just
Yeah.
stroke out in your sleep.
Yeah, I don't know if the Shadow Man was there to scare me awake or what, but
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, I didn't really.
Could very well be.
Yeah, I've heard like the sleep paralysis. I think I mentioned it before, where somebody's either sitting on your chest or like a demon on your chest or at the foot of your bed looking over you. I can't imagine, man. I mean, I'm the kind of person that I'm able to wake myself up from dreams. I'd be out of that one real quick. Nope, out of here. Wake up, open my eyes, right awake.
Yeah, lately I've been going to sleep watching cryptid stuff, like watching Bigfoot, Alien, or stuff like that. So
You got
it
some
puts
dreams
me to
going on.
sleep now.
No, right?
Yeah, cryptids put me to sleep.
Oh man.
I've been falling asleep a lot of last podcast on the left. Last night I fell asleep to them talking about Carl Panzerum. He's this fucking crazy serial killer from the 20s. It makes for interesting dream material, man. I tell you what.
Yeah, it sounds like you're listening to a lot more interesting things. I listen to like the history of England, and it helps me sleep. It does that much is so.
History of England would put me to sleep.
I don't know. Sometimes it's pretty damn good, man. But
its moments.
yeah, no, it definitely does. But all right, man. Well, that was a great story. Thank you for sharing it. So I guess we'll be moving on over to Yeti's story. So let's cue that on up.
All right. In the spirit of the 4th of July just passing, I figured that I would share my 4th of July ghost story. It happened around the 4th of July, not like on the day. We had just moved into this house that had like a malevolent haunting in it. There's several things that happen there that I think about them now and I get chilled. This one, I might have been 6 or 7, and I remember getting into the car like we had just got home. So the car wasn't hot. We had just gotten home and taken groceries into the house, and then I went back outside to get the fireworks out of the car. We had several things, Roman candles, black cats, Husker do's, Husker don't. No snakes and sparklers though. But one thing that I did have was smoke bombs. Those little colored, the green and blue and yellow and stuff. I loved those things as a kid. They were awesome. I could pretend to be a Ninja Turtle. And I remember there was a green one. And as I was getting stuff out of the bag, I dropped it on the floorboard of the car, and it just started smoking. It was like the fuse wasn't lit, nothing. It just started to like spew green smoke into the car. Like I've tried hundreds of times with those things. Like that year and like every year since that I've had my hands on fireworks, I've done everything that I could to get one of those smoke balls to do its thing, but it wouldn't. And it bothered me for a long time, but I sincerely believe that the actions of the malevolent spirit in the house, why it would choose the smoke bomb over, say, like a pack of black cats or Roman candle is beyond me. I mean, maybe it wasn't trying to hurt anybody. It was just, I don't know, just trying to be a dick. Who knows? That was the same house that when I was a kid, I got up one night to go to the bathroom. I got to the middle of the hallway, and the light in the kitchen and the light in the bathroom came on. So did both sinks. Bathroom and the kitchen sink came on full blast. I freaked the fuck out. My mom comes out, and I vividly remember we both trying to turn the faucet off, and it wouldn't turn off until finally it did. Like as soon as we got the bathroom sink to turn off, the kitchen light went off and the kitchen sink went off too. And it was just a really trippy house. A lot of weird shit happened there, but those are the two things that I remember most vividly. Probably 6 or 7 other stories of just dealing with weird paranormal things.
Wow.
Yeah, it's some heavy shit to go through as a kid, really.
I can't imagine, man. Wow. That's intense, man. I mean, let alone the firework. I mean, that would be like an eerie, I don't know, just unexplained. I mean, the only thing I could really think of is like, what is that? Spontaneous combustion, where it just like hit the ground and was like, nope, whatever's in here is lighting up.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I could really think of on that one.
I racked my brain on it for a long time, and it was stuff like this, like those little memories and stuff, and then, like I'll go back and corroborate them with my parents or whatnot, and like for a long time I was just hardcore skeptic, didn't really believe in anything except for aliens. I mean, but like
there's got to be some out there, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, in this vast, I mean, maybe not at this particular moment in time and space, but in the infinite, you know, time and space, there has to be at least aliens in the future or aliens in the past. But yes, I digress.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, and it's super arrogant to think that we're the only thing that's, you know, intelligent.
I agree.
In the universe, and that term is used so loosely. But yeah, you know, I started thinking. I got to thinking one night about stuff like these couple experiences that I shared and some other ones that I had. And it was like, I was kind of, you know, denying my own experience there, so I kind of backed off of it and started really looking into things, and that's where it kind of led me to being on this show, or wanting to be on this show, is accepting that I've seen some weird shit that I can't explain. So you know, and it makes you kind of feel crazy sometimes.
I can 110%, well, I guess that's more, 100% agree and can relate to that completely. I mean, the water, like the faucet, man, that, when I heard that part of the story, I was just like, no, I'd have probably just ran back in my room and been like, that's it. All right, or run out of the house, like, what was that, Poltergeist or whatever? They were just like, yeah, we're out of here. Oh, now the stairs are collapsing. Okay, all right, let's get out of this beast.
I did the same thing that every stupid person in horror movies do. I'm in the hallway outside the bathroom, like the doors open, the lights on, the faucet's going nuts, and I'm just standing in the hallway going, ah! Just little me standing there freaking the fuck out, you know.
Tripping over yourself. No,
yeah.
Let me fall on the ground. Man.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing probably. You've probably seen piss going down my leg and all that.
Yeah. At this point in time, though, it'd be like, could we fucking not? What part of the water bill are you paying?
Yeah, right. Not today. No way. No, I mean, I mean, when you try to turn it off and it doesn't turn off, and it doesn't turn off, and then all of a sudden it does turn off. I can't. I'm racking my brain right now trying to think of like some kind of water burst, something somewhere, but then it goes right back to normal. Like nothing even happened.
Did you want to call the landlord and be like, "Hey, this shit's fucked up"?
Come on, come fix this shit.
We didn't live there very long.
No. Okay. Fair enough. I would say the same thing. I mean, I think I talked about it before. I mean, I at a place in Colorado, the dishwasher and the washing machine would both just randomly turn on, no dish soap or, you know, detergent or anything in them, you know, no clothes, no nothing. And I was just like, yeah, that's a faulty fuse somewhere. There's something going on, and that's how I could, you know, get over it. But something about that place didn't quite seem right, so I skedaddled as well.
Yeah.
Out of that
Sometimes
place.
there's houses. The house I lived in before we moved to this one is a really nice place, and the house itself didn't feel wrong. It felt like home, you know. It was a house. And but the room we had for the nursery, it was like right before my kid was born. We had a room set out for the nursery, and we had all this stuff on the wall. But like, I wouldn't go in there after sundown. Like that room felt really wrong, and we didn't use it.
And that was going to be the nursery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put the bassinet in our bedroom.
Would have too, because you see Paranormal Activity, I think there's a baby in it, and the ghosts like to fuck with the baby.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you got a fucking possessed kid running around. I mean, toddlers are bad enough.
How can you tell the difference? I mean, come on. Somebody tell me.
At times, I would just come. We have a actual bottle of holy water in the laundry room on a shelf, just in case. And every now and then, when my son was 2 and 3, I would randomly just flick holy water on him to see if it would burn him.
just a test. Everything's fine.
Safe.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So, does holy water have an expiration date? Do you have to, after so long, get it re-blessed or whatever?
I don't worry so much about the expiration. I worry about it being contaminated by its environment.
Yeah, I think Family Guy covered that, didn't they? About contaminated holy water, tainted holy water. Anyways, still I digress. But yeah, no, that's a great question. The next time I meet up with the missionaries, I'll have to ask them about how the shelf life on holy water. So I'll have to check in on that. That's a fascinating question. Good job there. Good job, Jimmy. Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Fascinating questions.
All right. Well, hey guys, do you think this might be a good time for us to hear from our sponsors?
Yeah,
I think it's a great time for this.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and cue that on up. This episode of the Unbeknown podcast is sponsored by no one. We're not sponsored by anyone at all. But you can be a sponsor by going to www.patreon.com/the_unbeknown. There you can make a donation that'll go towards the improvement of our podcast. We hope that you will consider making a donation today.
Yeah, and there's also stickers available. You can get some little totes. I think I have it where you can get kids shirts and all that good stuff. So just go to tnhorror.com and look for the Unbeknown podcast, and yeah, you can get it there, or yeah, you can go there and get it.
That sounds great, man. I'm gonna be grabbing one of those shirts myself. Hopefully, here in a couple of weeks, I'll be sporting one as well. Yeah. So
Yeti, we ain't gonna leave you out. We working on it.
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story. So here we go. Let me cue that on up. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't believe it either. If I wasn't there, if I didn't see it, I definitely wouldn't believe it. But it's true. This is my lived experience. I must have been anywhere between 12 and 14 years old, sometime around 1992 to 1995, perhaps. This event
took place on the 1900 range of Rock Springs Road in Columbia, Tennessee. My name is Aaron Boyette, and I'm on the record. It was a night, I would say like any other night. We were going over to Josh and Dustin's for a sleepover. Josh and Dustin lived about 2 houses down from me. Right next door to me was Scott, my best friend. Now, I seem to recall that Logan was still living in the house on the opposite side of me. But he's not involved in this story. It's just for reference. That evening, we had gone over. Nothing out of the normal happened. No storms, any kind of event took place. But sometime around, let's say, 10 o'clock, the power went out. We were down in the basement, thus it was pitch dark. After sleeping for a short time, I seem to recall that I woke up and found that Scott had woke up as well. Now, being the young age that we were, we really didn't have a desire to sit there in the pitch dark in a basement for the rest of the night. So we decided to get on and go over to Scott's house. Just a short walk. Now this walk from Josh and Dustin's to Scott's was a walk that we took on a near daily basis. The weeds that had grown up had a trail worn straight through. I turned back to speak with Scott, and out of the corner of my eye, something caught my attention. It left me almost speechless. All I could do is point, and Scott turned his head to look up. What did we see? Well, nothing crazy. Just an orange triangle in the sky. Now, Aaron, you might ask me, weren't you just confusing that with the moon? Well, first I would say that's pretty ridiculous. A triangle is of course not round like the moon, but in the other direction was a full, bright moon. The kind of full, bright moon that lights up the night sky almost as if it was midday. Now, what would 2 young boys do at around 2-3 o'clock in the morning when they see such a sight? Well, we went to Scott's house and woke up his, I would say, 5 to 7-year-old little sister. Now, thinking back on it, yes, we should have woke up his mother, Leah. Leah was the type that would have had collected all sorts of information. She would have got out the camcorder. Remember, this is before the days of a camera available at all times on your smartphone. No, we didn't do that. Now why? Well, I seem to recall that in my mind that this was an event that not only we saw, of course, this triangle, this orange triangle in the sky, yeah, it couldn't have been seen by just us. It seemed to not be just right overhead, but further off, a little bit almost out of the atmosphere. Not a spaceship, not lights on each corner or edge of the triangle. No, full-blown full out orange triangle. So, as I said, this had to be an event that would be spoken about the next day. So we went to sleep.
Yeah. That happened. That was a true story.
Damn.
That happened. It was a true story. I don't know what else to say about it other than, I mean, it was true. 100%. Absolutely. You know, you were mentioning it earlier, and I thought it was funny because I said I completely relate. When you start questioning yourself, especially years after the fact, you're like, did that really happen? You shake yourself. Yes, it did. That 100% did happen. I mean,
what age were you?
I would anywhere between like 11 to like 14. I feel like, you know, just thinking back on it now. You know, I was thinking about it. You know, as far as if we woke up Leah, she would have definitely gotten a camcorder or something. But really, in my mind, it was like everybody saw this. This is not.
Had that big old camcorder put on the shoulder.
Well, a little bit more of the hand cam I think we had by then. You know, a little bit with like the little cassettes in them. I think I don't know if they were digital by then. That's a good question. But yeah. So, you know, that's how it went, man. That was the world I lived in. That little experience, man.
That's fucking crazy.
Was you just running around the neighborhood? That's what you was doing. You was
Oh yeah.
around
Well, I
after
mean,
women, wasn't you?
oh yeah. Well, no, we weren't then, but I mean, at that age and at that time, and you know, in our lives, and hell, at that time, and just the world, I guess it was fine to just be out and about, running abouts. But yeah, I mean, you know, the way I thought about it, and too, I you know, thinking about if we had maybe captured something on camcorder or something like that and then put it on the internet when that came about and whatnot, then people would be like, well, y'all did this, y'all did that, oh, it was just this and that, and I'm like, I'm glad we didn't, you know. Then there might be people out there calling me a liar or whatnot, but I guess they can now. My story, though, the way I think about it is you can believe it or you don't have to believe it. There's not any kind of angel involved in the story. There's not, you know, Jesus or God or, you know, any kind of, you know, religious figure saying, hey, here's Aaron and Scott, they got the true way, come and listen to them. That's never been the case. So, and my story's never changed. It's always been the same thing. Young, power went out, no storm, no nothing, saw an orange triangle in the sky, didn't really do much about it. The end. There you go. It's all summed up. I took 6 minutes to do that recording, and that's pretty much all I could have said right there. So, what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know how I would reacted if I seen a orange triangle in the sky. At that age, I don't know if I'd freak out. I don't remember if I even thought about aliens then, so not too sure.
I probably currently wouldn't even think to get a camera. What I would do is be like, babe, come here. Look at the fucking glowing triangle in the sky. I told you, goddammit, I told you.
I mean, like I said, the way I looked at it, it was like the next day it would be on the news. You know, people would be like, oh, that was this over here. You know, they did some kind of test flight of this. You know, any kind of, or swamp gas, you know, shining off the light of Uranus, you know. Something along those lines, you know. That's what I was figuring would happen.
Around here. But, you know, if I would have seen the movie Fire in the Sky before I seen Triangle in the Sky or whatever, I would probably be shitting my pants because, yeah, just wait on that
They
damn
gonna
white
come get you.
to shoot down on you.
They gonna come get you. They gonna suck you all up. No, one person said, wouldn't it be something if that's you in the future and you're looking down on your past self? I don't know, man. That would be kind of crazy. I do enjoy me some time travel, all
Some
forms of time
interstellar
travel.
shit?
Interstellar, yep. Instead of well, I'm not gonna spoil it. You know, there's not a shelf life on spoilers now, from what I understand.
What?
You can't do spoilers for anything, guys. You can't give away. Don't you dare talk about the Sixth Sense. I'm telling you right now. Someone's gonna harass you. You don't do it.
Dead.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you.
You know, my thing is like, you know, lesser known stuff that I really want to get out there. Like when I do reviews, I'll at Tennessee Horror News, Fucked Up Fridays.
Hey,
Uh,
yeah. Shameless plug. Come on now.
When I do reviews, like I'll do anything, you know, like 10 years old or newer. If it's not really super well known, I won't give a bunch of spoilers for.
But what if there's a remake coming?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. If there's a remake coming, when I review it, I'll like load it full of, like, I'll want you to be able to read this and then have a basis for that remake.
Okay, so I mean, in my world, you know, I'm a gamer. You know, they're making the Final Fantasy VII remake, and there's a part in the original that's like iconic. But now that there's a new one coming out, and you know, there's some people that have never played the game. You know, the word is that we can't talk about it anymore now. So I don't know. I'm a little leery about these spoilers now. I don't want to get, you know, attacked on the interweb.
I say dead people.
You better stop it. You better not. You better not do it. Oh man, but
The
yeah.
narrator and Tyler Durden are the same person the entire time.
No.
I just
can't-
killed half the population.
I can't think of any more spoilers other than Interstellar and The Sixth Sense. But yeah, neither here nor there.
I can
Anyways,
spoil Annabelle for people if they want to know what happens on Annabelle Homecoming or Coming Home or whatever.
well, I'm never gonna see it. I've gotten to the point now where I will watch movie reviews with spoilers just to avoid even going to the movies. I don't know, man. It just might just be me, but that's a thing I started doing.
It all depends. Like I haven't read a full review for Midsummer yet.
Oh yeah, that does look interesting.
Because I like all I've done is watch the trailer. I'm trying to stay as blind as possible till I see it. I've had some really reliable people tell me it was good.
Yeah.
What?
Just take your glasses off, Yeti.
Yeah, good idea.
Sorry, I love you, buddy.
Sorry, I'm blind in one eye, I can't see out of the other one.
Hey man, I can relate to that as well. Long story. We'll leave that for another day.
I have an interesting theory. Check this out. As it relates to your story. It took me a second to, I think, come up with the name of the lady. The reason why maybe nobody said anything about it was maybe nobody else was. It's not that they didn't see it; it's that they weren't able to see it. It was like there's an old abduction. Of course, you have the interracial couple that was abducted really early. I think it was 40s or 50s, and then a couple of years after them, there was the Andreessen affair, and it was, I think her name was Betty Andreessen, and she was in the house with her family, and UFOs came, like a UFO came down and pretty much froze everything in time except for her. And 4 small grays came into the house and interacted with her alone. And then they took her, and then they abducted her, and there's, you know, it was a whole thing with, and they brought her back, but nobody even noticed anything was strange. Nobody saw anything there because the theory is that they, it's possible that UFOs are interdimensional entities that come through holes, and they come in and they're very selective about who sees them. So that's why she was the only one who was able to interact with or see these things. None of her family noticed anything. None of her neighbors. It was just her. So that you might have had an experience similar to the Andreessen affair without the abduction.
No, I mean, possible, but you know, Angela, the youngest sister of Scott, she was there. She saw it, but like I said, she was very young. So when we bring it up to her, she doesn't quite remember it. But I can't really blame her. She was half asleep when we woke her up and, you know, showed her through the window. We didn't take her outside and be like, "Oh, hey, look at this. Check this out." But, you know, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm open to any possibility, but unless I know for a fact that's what it was, then I'll never, you know, truly believe it. So, you know, but that was my experience, man. That wild to this day. I mean, I try to think, is there anything else? You know, I'm also, you know, the kind of person that I'm the cynical one. I think you know, watching like magic tricks and whatnot, and those type of people and con artists and those people doing things that deceive your perception of reality is another thing that I kind of watch out for and look into. I've met a few of those types, and they can be very charming. So you gotta watch out and not let your guard down so much. Anyways, but yeah. So, man, triangle. Oh man, well, you know what? I think this might be a good time for us to listen up about the Alien Expo.
Yes.
Sounds like a great plan.
Come on down to the Alien Expo, August 17th and 18th at the Knoxville Convention Center. Find out more at alienxpo.com. If you're not there, you're square.
All right, so Alien Expo, it's coming up here in August, and at the Knoxville Convention Center, and you know that's not too far away from me, so I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna give it a good try to be out there. It's not that long of a drive or anything like that, and I think there are ways of getting decent, you know, tickets. So you know that's something to kind of look into.
Definitely, and if you don't want to make the drive back, there's some pretty decent hotels here in Knoxville. And if you go a little bit out of town, there's some great accommodations near the airport too for fairly cheap. Knoxville's a great city.
Knoxville's all right. There, you all right there, Jimmy? Did they get you? Did the Grays come in? Did you lose time? You better check your watch. You better look into it. Oh no, his system has gone down. Government. That's all I'm saying. It's the government.
Yeah, they know that we know.
They know that we know that something is coming up next week, and I got a promo for that as well. Let me go ahead and cue that on up. We'll be right back.
My mole on the inside says that next week's episode will be about Project Blue Book. We can't let them undisclose the truth. Next Saturday, 7 p.m. twitch.tv/the_unbeknown.
All right, so next week, on next week's show, which will, once again, hopefully be kicked off at 7 p.m. If it's a few minutes late, you know, sometimes these things happen, you know. Some technical difficulties can happen, so, you know, just something to keep in mind. But for right now, as planned, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here again on twitch.tv/the_unbeknown. So
Hey,
make sure you're there.
Hey, Johnny's trying to call in, is what I was trying to say.
Oh yeah, man.
What I've been doing.
Oh, you've been working on something, huh?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him in, but his name's not coming up. So
That technical difficulties, man. I'm telling you, they strike when you're least expecting.
If you're listening, hold on one second. I'm trying to get you in.
We're trying to bring you on in, and this is a good time to remind any listeners that they too can join us through Skype. Through what username?
The Unbeknown Podcast.
The Unbeknown Podcast, and we'll do our damnedest to try to bring you on the air once we can figure out how to do it. You know, with this whole twitch.tv streaming live, all that kind of nonsense happening, you know, we're still learning as we go. We're trying to make everything work and run right, but we're noobs. What can I say? Noobs.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I'm getting it now.
He's getting it. He's getting it. He's working hard, guys. I can see the wheel cranking in there. You just look into his eyes. Look into those eyes and watch him. All right, watch out. Don't try too hard. You're starting to sweat.
Yeah, I am kind of.
Technical difficulties, man. It happens all the time. That's why I made this. Old technical difficulties. And, oh, man, it's spazzing out over here. What
Awesome.
the hell? What is going on with that? Let's try to, wow, that is definitely alien going on right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have a translation bar, though, down below it. So, technical difficulties, guys. Trying to work this out. Get somebody else on the podcast broadcast thing. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
But while we're waiting on that, and we're waiting on trying to get another caller in, we're going to be talking next week about Project Blue Book. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for next week, but from what I hear, it's a pretty spicy story, a pretty intriguing situation involving government conspiracies.
Oh yeah. Just if you don't know about Project Blue Book, it was a government run operation. It was Air Force intelligence, and it was their job to hunt down and investigate UFO phenomena across the country. Tens of thousands of reports, some really famous stories of sightings and stuff, like really big sightings, fall under Project Blue Book's purview. This is a really interesting time in history. It was at a time where the government was still trying to tell everyone that UFOs weren't real, while at the same time spending time and resources investigating claims. So I find it really interesting. And so there's some neat information in it.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be oh man, you know me and conspiracies. I can't get enough of them, man. Bring them on my way. In fact, we got one that's waiting in the wings that we're gonna be approaching here in the next few episodes as well. Got some potential interviews, hopefully a little bit of conspiracy from an eye guy somewhere out there. So we're still looking into that, working on the logistics of getting a representative of a certain popular Twitter follow.
Conspiracies, I think.
Conspiracies is the name of the Twitter. So, which I'm on the Twitter, but I mean I'm old, so I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Oh yeah, I failed miserably at trying to add the call. Johnny I guess it wouldn't work. So he deleted.
It's like, forget you guys. All right, that's what I get for having y'all around, doing this thing.
I will figure it out how to add somebody to a call.
We'll figure it out next time. Well, I'm sure we'll get it all figured out for the next show. But man, man, the potential for a very intriguing interview has got my interest peaked. So I'm hoping that we get that all situated. Jimmy, he's on the case trying to get that all situated.
Yeah. I'm working on it, but yeah, we'll figure it out though.
Technical difficulties, they happen.
First live episode, so
hey man, oh no, hey, for a first live episode, I think we had some viewers too, from time to time, so that's good. But hopefully they remember to check back next week, next Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time for another episode. Also, you'll be able to download this podcast through your favorite podcast provider, like you would any other way. Searching the Unbeknown podcast will get you there, and hopefully you will download that, give it a listen, and let us know. Write a review. We like those 5-star reviews, of course. Who doesn't? But hey, if you didn't feel it was 5 stars, tell us why. Let us know so that we can improve. That's what we're working to do. We're working to improve. So, make sure you do that. Any other things, guys? Any Twitter? We're out there on the Twitter. The Unbeknown podcast.
Yep.
On Twitter, so make sure you're doing that. Hit us up on there. Give us a follow. We'll be releasing when we're going to be doing more podcasts in the future. Patreon. We just started up a Patreon, so if you feel inclined, to maybe give $1 a month, whatever the lowest amount that people can give, hey, that would be great. Any bit would help. Go towards, trying to better the podcast and any kind of equipment or websites or anything like that. That would be great. So just make sure that you're sticking around, following us, and and we hope that you enjoyed the show. But make sure that you tune in next week. So guys, you have any parting words that you would like to do?
I promise I'll do better next week.
Check me out on Instagram, the Yeti 616. Periods where the spaces should be. Also, you can check out. I write stuff. I write for Tennessee Horror News. I do a weekly series on extreme horrors, exploitation, splatter, disturbing films. Yesterday's episode or installment was the infamous Men Behind the Sun. Great fucking film. Everybody should watch it. It's an incredibly educational film. Check me out. Check out my stuff on Tennessee Horror News. I work managing editor at the deadwalk.org. We got some really great stuff coming there. Got some great articles from myself and our team over there. Go check them out. tnhorror.com, thedeadwalk.org, and follow me on Instagram.
Oh, man. All right. So, good deal, guys. We got everything done. This is episode 1 in the books. So, make sure that you guys... Go ahead, Jimmy.
Remember, y'all, we want to believe you.
So, give us a call. Make sure that you come in. Next time, we'll have it all figured out, and we'll be able to bring you in just in case, So, but until next time, guys...
Hail Satan. Watch the skies.
Yes, take care and... gobbledygook. I don't know. We'll have to work on the taglines. All right, good deal. Episode 1 down.